Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Okay, let's jump right into this, because we are literally days away from the kickoff of the 2026 FIFA World Cup in North America. And honestly, there's one team that is just casting this massive, terrifying shadow over the entire tournament. Today, we're breaking down the anatomy of a true footballing juggernaut, the French national team. We're gonna get into their tactics, their totally absurd talent pool, and yeah, even those hidden little vulnerabilities that every other team is gonna be desperately trying to exploit. Number 1. That's really where the story starts. When the latest FIFA men's rankings dropped in April 2026, Les Bleus claimed that absolute top spot globally, bumping Spain and Argentina down the ladder. And look, this isn't just some symbolic feel-good designation. It's a reflection of their sustained elite performance over years. They are rolling into this tournament as the undisputed kings of the hill, which of course puts a massive target squarely on their backs. A legacy on the line. Because beyond the rankings and the raw talent, what really makes this campaign so fascinating is the emotional engine driving them. To get that, just look at this timeline. 1998, World Cup winners. 2018, World Cup winners. 2022, finalists. The whole thing is really a final mission, a valedictory lap for their legendary head coach, Didier Deschamps. I mean, consider his World Cup pedigree. It's unmatched. He captained the team to their first ever World Cup win on home soil in '98. Then, he manages them to their second star in 2018, and then they agonizingly fall just short in that legendary penalty shootout against Argentina in 2022. He's one of only 3 men in the entire history of the sport, along with Mario Zagallo and Franz Beckenbauer, to win the trophy as both a player and a manager. 14. That is a massive number. 14 years is how long Deschamps has spent at the helm of this national team. He took over a totally fractured squad back in 2012 and basically rebuilt them from the ground up into a global powerhouse. And he's already confirmed he's stepping down after this tournament, no matter what happens. So he isn't coaching to keep his job. He's chasing a legacy-defining second World Cup as a manager before he walks away for good. Now, to understand how Deschamps manages, you kind of have to understand who he was as a player. See this definition here? The water carrier? Eric Cantona famously gave him that nickname. And while Cantona definitely meant it as a slight against Deschamps' lack of flashy technical skills, Deschamps totally owned it. It perfectly sums up his entire philosophy. Efficiency, organization, and prioritizing the team's balance above literally everything else. He builds from this ultra-secure defensive base and relies on absolute collective solidarity. The ultimate football arsenal. Because honestly, the players he has to work with, it's almost unfair. 38 kilometers per hour. That's the top speed their captain, Kylian Mbappé, has been clocked at on the pitch. To put that in perspective, that's like a car driving through a residential neighborhood. It makes him one of the fastest footballers ever measured. But the thing that makes Mbappé a real game changer isn't just the raw pace. Actually, it's his brain. It's his ability to process information and make these incredibly nuanced split-second decisions while running at a dead sprint. And he's coming into this tournament at his absolute peak, having just bagged 40 goals across all competitions for Real Madrid. But here's the really wild contradiction of France's identity. On one hand, you have this explosive attack. Mbappé, the 2025 Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembélé, and Bayern Munich sensation Michael Olise. They legitimately have 9 world-class attackers. But on the other hand, Deschamps forces all that attacking brilliance to operate inside a highly rigid, stifling defensive framework, anchored by William Saliba, Dayot Upamecano, and elite goalkeeper Mike Maignan. The tactical blueprint. So how does he actually make those two conflicting ideas work on the grass? Well, he typically sets up in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. Without the ball, France is more than happy to just sit back, absorb pressure, and wait. But the second they win the ball back, their transition is terrifying. They are organizing their counterattacks before they even get the ball, using Mbappé as a permanent lethal outlet up top. Of course, this highly pragmatic style gets Deschamps a ton of criticism from people who want to see them play beautiful, expansive football. His response: change the channel. I love that. He is completely unapologetic. He cares about results, not plaudits. And honestly, with his trophy cabinet, it's pretty hard to argue. Let's rapidly break down their core strengths here. Unmatched attacking depth. I mean, an injury to a star forward ruins most teams. For France, they just sub on another Champions League winner. They're loaded with individual match winners who can pull a goal completely out of thin air. They have serious World Cup experience, guys who survived the pressure cooker of the 18 and 22 finals. Throw in 14 years of managerial continuity and an elite defense, yeah, they are a nightmare to play against. Which naturally brings us to the big question. But are they invincible? If you're managing against this juggernaut, where exactly is the chink in the armor? Well, flaws definitely do exist. Defensively, they can occasionally be caught out by super fast, organized counterattacks, and Upamecano can sometimes make a rash decision under pressure. Their tactical conservatism, that can absolutely backfire against highly technical teams. Remember when they lost 5-4 to Spain in the Nations League? Plus, you have William Saliba's postseason fitness after a grueling Premier League run, the lack of a true deep-lying playmaker, and their heavy reliance on Kylian Mbappé. Oh, and keeping 9 star forwards happy, that's an eco-tightrope walk for sure. When you stack all that up, suddenly they look a little bit more human. The path to victory. So keeping those massive strengths and those hidden weaknesses in mind, what is the roadmap to the trophy? It starts in Group I, where France enjoys a massive advantage right out of the gate. Look at the FIFA ranks here. France is number 1. Senegal, who are the reigning AFCON champions and definitely the biggest threat, is 13 spots down at 14. Norway is sitting at 31. And Iraq, back for the first time in 40 years, is down at 57. The gap in sheer quality is undeniable. And the betting markets totally agree. Analytics give France a whopping 68% probability to just win Group I outright. Norway is sitting at a 21% chance, and honestly, that's really just because they have Erling Haaland, the ultimate wildcard, who could punish France on a counter. Senegal is at 11%. But realistically, France cruising to the knockouts is viewed as almost a sure thing. But step 2 is where it gets crazy. Because of the expanded 2026 format, after dominating their group, they have to survive the newly introduced round of 32. That means to lift the trophy, France has to win 4 consecutive grueling knockout matches. We're talking a gauntlet of elite teams: Spain, England, Argentina. That extra knockout match is a brutal physical demand that will stretch even France's legendary depth to the absolute breaking point. Will Les Bleus secure their 3rd star? That's the question we're all waiting to see answered. They've got the talent, they've got the best player on earth, and they have a manager who is desperate to go out on top after 14 incredible years. The stage is perfectly set for Didier Deschamps' final ride. So when you tune in this summer, you know exactly what to watch out for. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and enjoy the tournament.